I will be demonstrating how to explore the facial and lingual surfaces of tooth number 27, including the surfaces towards and away from us. So starting with the facial surfaces towards us, we want to be at an 8 to 9 o'clock position. Then we want to select our correct working end, and to do so, we place the working end on the distal line angle, and you want to see that the working end hugs and overlaps across the tooth that we were working on, but the functional shank goes away, it curves away from the tooth instead of going up and over the tooth that we're working on. So that is how you find the correct working end for anterior teeth. So now that we have our correct working end, we want to get into correct MPG with our thumb and index finger on the opposing sides of the handle, our middle finger on the functional shank, and we want to fulcrum with our ring finger 2 to 3 teeth away from the tooth that we're working on. So working towards the distal line angle, we want to start at the midline and begin with our oblique strokes. So as we get towards the distal line angle, we want to dab the tip and pivot and roll into that eyepiece space, and then begin our vertical strokes. Now we want to do the lingual surface towards us, and for this we'll stay at our 8 to 9 o'clock position, but we just have to go on the lingual. And since it's lingual but on the same surface towards us, we will flip our instrument for the correct working end and get into our MPG. So we'll start at the midline and do our oblique strokes. Sorry if it's a little bit difficult to see everything. So as I'm approaching the interproximal space, I am pivoting and rolling and doing my vertical strokes. So now we want to do the surfaces away from us, and for this we will be at a 12 o'clock position, so that will be the mesial of 27 on the facial and lingual surfaces. So let's start here and select the correct end. So we want to check to see, so this is not the correct end because the functional shank goes up and over that tooth, but this is the correct end. As you can see, it's overlapping that tooth that we're working on, and the functional shank is curving away. So we want to get into our MPG and then fulcrum 1 to 3 teeth away. I'm fulcruming on the second premolar here. We want to start at the midline. Doing our oblique strokes, and then pivoting into that eyepiece space, rolling and bringing our elbows in, and doing our vertical strokes now that we're in the eyepiece space. So now to do the facial surface away from us on tooth number 27, we will flip our instrument so that we use the opposite working end from what we are using on the lingual surface away from us on 27. And we'll get back into our MPG and begin our oblique strokes on the midline. Now as I'm inching towards the interproximal area, my elbow is coming out and I'm doing the vertical strokes.